unification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Would you assist building a wall so massive or a bridge? Don't care how small, as one tends to divide our people, the other unite us all. Unambitious men just cannot be a part of this community. Displaying selfishness, a total lack of interest. No, I said no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Welcome back to Fear in Our Favor with Professor Herbalist. I think we would have done. Wow, it's almost
Almost
half past
9.
I thought we would have taken a break around first hour. But when you're in a groove and you have a rhythm,
Yeah, this is a nice little.
things would just flow. And I'm very happy that we are doing this because I would like to be able to identify some of these plants as well. You know, maybe I see them, but I just don't know what they're all about.
Yeah, that's true. Because especially something like this barricade, they call it donkey whip in the country because this is what they used to bang donkey with.
Bang people with.
No, but they bang donkey with it. They pull it, you pull it up with it by the root and you bang donkey with it. But then we start to fight with it in school. So we give you some barrier and you get them licks and you go home good. But then the physic nut, we used to play with this here, they call it the dolly. And some people used to eat them. Nobody ever get poisoned. So I know that nothing was wrong with them. You can always find that sometimes we go play, right? And the little child, a time I take a mangineel out of Kennedy by one mouth.
Mm-hmm.
A mangineel.
I went down Fig Tree and there was some manganill tree on Fig Tree Beach, and I did sheltering out the rain, so I picked a few. They're playing with them, and the milk, the juice, man, drop on me, man, bump up every part where the juice touched.
Small days how we used to do, right? When he got a bully and everybody had enough for him. We just look for something that he must touch. We take our mangineel were almost rotten and rub it on it. And when he touch it, he will learn a lesson. Nobody hitting him. They say the wicked does run and nobody chasing them. You running up and down and nobody hitting them, yeah? But the mangineel guy is busy. But so I know the dangers of mangineel. I tell you, the guy, I run down the hill, right, going in the bed, see this little youth just about to, him mouth done open his hand, the mangineel in his mouth. It's just he teeth them to shut
I
down
look
by.
like a fruit, yes.
Watch here, I dive, right, and push two of my fingers through his mouth. Nearly knock him down. He uncle in the sea water, jump out of the sea water, ready to fight me, right?
Same as if you have a call.
Until he realized what was happening. But
Good evening. Welcome to Fear in Our Favor.
Good night, good night, good night.
Good night. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm here just calling out. I'm moving from station to station just to see what I can pick up.
Okay. Now you're at the right spot.
Eh?
We're discussing the plant, the herbs, and what they're good for. Do you have any memory of any herb that would have treated you well?
Yeah, who is Sydney? That's Sydney on the program there?
Lloyd, herbalist, Professor Herbalist,
hold on,
nobody
Vince.
I thought was Sydney.
Hold on, Vinci? This is Vinci?
Mr. Politics.
Oh, no. Well, Mr. Politics.
That's not culture.
No, I thought it was culture. I'm not Mr. Politics. I don't know if you would have known me. I don't think we were in close proximity very much.
Oh,
But
you're from the village?
I'm from the village, yes.
Okay, well, I never put up on you yet. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. My question to you that all these bush and all these things, right? Because I believe in using the herb. But don't you think that using the herb, you're supposed to get some medical experience about this herb to use it? Whether you're using hash rub down, whether you're using neem, whether you're using something they call welterman. I believe that's good for diabetes and it's good for sugar and kidney stone and all them things because I see it on the
Very good for kidney stones. It's very good for gallstones and kidney stones. That is what the old people always use. They call it cedar underleaf. They call it gundow weed.
Yeah, cedar underleaf. Yeah.
They call it gundow weed. They call it welterman. Now, your question is...
My mother was a herbalist, right? And she taught us to drink all of those things. Some of us don't follow up. But I following up the herb all the time, different things. That same welterman there, when you got a problem with your stomach, you just dry it and drink it, and it takes everything off the stomach. Like you have a cold or something, your stomach feel, whatever. It helps clean up whatever on your stomach.
Yes, you're quite correct. That is one of the very great herbs. So what we are doing here tonight, we are helping you to understand that before you take the weed eater and cut up things in your yard, go and take them in your kitchen, in your house, on your dining table. Go remarry yourself to your culture. Go back to the herbs. You're doing the right thing by staying with the herbs. I have never been a liker of anything else but herbs. So I can understand where you're coming from.
But let me tell you something, right? I use the medication prescribed by the doctor too because I suffer with pressure. And I use medication was prescribed by the doctor. Because the doctor know it best to me, right? Because I studied. But I don't really use the medication. Sometimes I take 2 days or 3 days after the medication and use the herb. I use like this passion fruit leaf.
Yeah.
That's good for pressure.
Yeah, the breadfruit bush leaf is very good. That is the one that I would prescribe that you try. The breadfruit bush, you get a nice young one and you cut it up. And if you are experienced with using herbs, I don't think you should have a problem with the dosage. Because you have a tendency to look at the color of the water, the texture of the thing when you put it in the glass, in the cup. If it's very dark, if it's just slightly dark, then you would drink a little less or drink a little more as the case may be. But the breadfruit bush is very good also to help you with that pressure. Now, the doctor is very good in diagnosing your problem. The doctor is going to prescribe for you what the pharmacy says they have to treat pressure. So it doesn't mean that the doctor and the pharmacy are on the same page. Only saying that, I'm not discrediting anybody. What I'm saying is, when we go to the herbs, we do not recommend that you use the pressure pill still. So if you're doing the right thing. If you're going to use the herb for 3 days, leave the pressure pill alone. Because remember that it puts in a certain ingredient in your body. Now the other thing is, there's another way. What you can do is...
Well, listen, I pity that, right? People like you with that experience. That we ain't had a lab here to use some of these same herbs to help us with our health
Mr.
problem
Politics,
we got, whether we got pressure, sugar, or whatsoever.
Mr. Politics,
understand?
I am glad that you're saying this, but let me tell you something. In 2003, I went down to government headquarters, right? And I told them what I was interested in. The permanent secretary went and spoke to whoever he had to talk to and came back and told me that the people who studied in St. Kitts didn't study anything about bush. So they have no interest in bush. They study pharmaceutic product and they're not going to give me any help. I wrote to United Nations asking if UNESCO has a program whereby somebody like me could get help. I need a piece of land. I need a shed. I need to be able to employ 2 or 3 people to keep the herbs together. I need storage place. I need different things that I can buy off the internet. What?
Listen, that is our problem. When they're up there, they don't take us serious.
The man
When
told me.
they're up there and the height, they
Listen
don't
to
take us
me.
serious.
Listen to
That's
me.
why the ordinary man has got shot back. And then these people who in the lab, they develop all kind of things who affect our body.
To take over your structure. Now,
Yes.
this is what I'm telling you, Mr. Politics. Please listen to me.
Yes.
I wrote to United Nations after they told me that in government headquarters. Right? Elvis Newton.
Yes.
I wrote United Nations and they told me that every year they give my government monies to do things like that. So I went back to him with it to let us know.
Well, listen me now. Listen me, right? You got to develop your own thing.
Well, that's what I have done.
I know a gentleman from Passing Ground. By the Passing Ground and Newton Ground, something about down there. Excuse me. he developed his own thing. He sell in the bush. He bush tea, and people buy it, and people get success from it. You understand? You got to something to go more on you. Develop your own
Mr.
thing,
Politics,
your own
Mr. Politics. Last week, right? A guy who is driving around a bus on weekends came to visit me, as he always does whenever he sees me. And then he was telling me that he had learned so much from me that he started doing a business. So I don't have to really worry about it from that angle. Because you see, what I would like to do is get other people involved. This is too much for just me alone. I could go around and look all the bush.
Anyway, I don't want to take up the whole program. Listen to me now. What part of the village? I don't work by the village school. I'm going to be there 5 o'clock tomorrow. I want to meet you personally.
You don't work by the village school 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, I don't work there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, you'll drive a pickup?
No, me don't drive.
Okay, how you gonna know me? I drive in a red car.
You want me give me number?
You gonna know me? If you're gonna come by village school, cause I used to teach there. I'm gonna come by village school after 5 tomorrow is Friday. I'm coming by village school after 5 tomorrow.
You're not Lorenzo?
I'm not Lorenzo.
Yeah, just yeah. Me and Lorenzo just together, work together.
Ed Lorenzo know me good too.
Yeah.
So I will come and we can talk face to face like you
Yeah, man.
said.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blessings, my Lord. To continue, just one piece. To continue with what I was saying about that, the United Nations told me that they give the government money every year so that they can help people with naturopathic instances such as mine. When I went back to them, They told me, yeah, we just get the money, but we just use it for something else. I said, well, now that you have somebody who's interested in helping the community, the society at large, would you please consider giving me some help? They didn't. I was coming out of the building, and a woman named Miss Adams was the permanent secretary of gender affairs. She said, Lord, you dress so nice and your face looks so sad. What is happened to you? I told her. She said, listen, I'm going to help you because they don't get money to help you. So she signed something and gave me. And from then, whenever I wanted chairs or community center to use for anything herbal, I was afforded that. But nothing else. Because the people said they weren't going to study and they didn't study nothing herbal. So they ain't interested in that. I'm going back to the point of when we have people in the hospital and they need help. I went up there and massaged a lot of people out of the hospital with herb oil that I make. But some of the nurses take offensive. I went in the hospital home and shoved some injection in me and tell me, you up and down telling people how herbs could help them. I want to see how this year can help you. The doctor tell me family, check me out of the hospital. They check me out of the hospital. I come home and see me here today. I cure myself with herbs. One named cilantro was in the supermarket. Cilantro, coriander. It's written in the Bible. Coriander, cilantro, that is what I use to take mercury poisoning out of my body. And they tell me that I get the mercury poisoning elsewhere. But we ain't gonna just pick sense out of nonsense. Somebody over Buckley's poisoned me in a drink, and I went by the hospital to see if I could get flush out. And they turned me over and shoved 2 injections in. You don't want to see where they put these injection needle. You don't want to see where they give me them injections.
But where you might have gotten mercury poisoned?
From the injection, but they don't want to admit it.
But
The man, look here, when I finished, when I found out, listen to me, when I was in the hospital, right, they take some blood from me. I carry it to the lab and everything was good. The girl come down, the lab technician come down and ask me, how I get my body in this condition for my age? Because me ain't on a parasite, me ain't on a this, me ain't on a that, right? So I was okay. And then, after that, the woman turned me over, and I just see her every Wednesday. She turned me over and she gave me 2 injections right by my anal cavity. So if you turn me over, you can't see them. You got to move my legs apart to see which part. I got to mark them there. They got 2 pieces of powder flesh coming out. Right? Tell the next one. Give him the next one, because when anybody come in here from Buckley's, it's marijuana overdose they come from. There's no such thing as a marijuana overdose. The spliff going to drop, you're going to drop sleep before you could ever get an overdose. Dr. Siheli told her that night there. And from that, they're fighting against me because I just tell people Bush could cure them. I have cured people. I have cured many people. Sorry, God, I take it back. The Father cure many people through the herbs that I give them. Let me put it so. Because that is the right way. Okay? Put God first. God, you ain't do nothing. And I just remember something. This morning when I wake up, I just realized me know nothing. Yeah? Me know nothing at all. He got so much other things that you could know.
That is what I put up on my status. The more I learn is the more I realize I do not know.
I mean or not. Mr. Nital, if you take one of these leaves and put it in your mouth for abscess, he busts the abscess within an hour. Bust it.
Let me ask you a question. Somebody who would have suffered a stroke and would have lost his speech, would have experienced paralysis along one of the sides. What could be used to assist that person in his therapeutic efforts?
I had a stroke in 2011 that paralyzed my right side. And it was as a result of the previous mercury poisoning. So, I was walking up the road, dragging my right foot. And people were making different comments while I walk. While I was walking in Monkey Hill, I saw a bush on the side of the road just going so. And nothing else moving. And a dragging going up the road still. I stand up and I look back and the bush just going so. It's a little flat bush on the ground with a yellow thing go up. It is normally round. It was round the cane border, but it's round the side of, whenever you clean up like Mattingly and Beacon Heights and so, you don't see it. But you don't see it all over the thing. It's over here so in right here in Greenlands. Mm-hmm. I see it going in people here. It's called carpet daisy. They call it bugleweed. It is good for the thyroid gland. Very good for curing the thyroid gland. Okay? So at the time, I just know it for the thyroid gland, but I said, this bush here looked like it waving at me. I drank and I went back and take up a handful. I went home and I started drinking it. I started talking good about 3 days later, but I was walking good too. And Monkey people could tell you, they say it wasn't true. But people who know around me know that it's a stroke I had. I had a mild heart attack. They tell me so in the hospital, right? I went back to the hospital. They put on the sensors on my stomach. And then a woman come in and tell them, oh, he was in here 2008 and he gave the hospital a bad name. Take him out, the government hospital, send him out. The nurse come, pull off the sensors, I went back out. But she had already told me I had a mild heart attack. And I went home and I used the carpet weed, the carpet daisy, right? And Terragan, there's a plant called Terragan with a sweet smell, a little yellow flower on top of it, right? Terragan, I take Terragan and drink it and make oil with it. And the oil I massage my leg with and I start feeling tingling. I went and walked. This is one of the things that stroke patients need to know. Go and walk on the hot ground without any shoes. That was the last part of the therapy. When I start to walk on the hot ground without shoes, I start to feel in my right side again. The nerve started tingling, and I walk up Siston Hill there by what they call Kitwa Hill in Monkey Hill, right? I walk up the hill there. When I reach up to the top, by out of breath, but I know something, my foot burning me. And so I came out the following day and I walk it to Buckley's, barefoot. I couldn't hold my stool. I went back and I drink the carpet daisy. I couldn't hold my urine. I went and I drink piss of bed, which is blood dog. And I start to hold my stool, I start to hold my urine from there. So I'm saying that the combination of these herbs helped me. Because I wasn't documenting anything, I can only go and treat you the same way. Now I had a brethren down the road named Fire. Fire had a stroke just after that. It was 2013. And they called me because they know I had a stroke and I used herbs and pulled back myself. The people over in Gillard Meadows, I was over there making road for contact. And the people called me and tell me, boy, you buy down and he said, must call you. And I went. And this is another important thing. Raw food. People like too much cooked food. When you cook food, you kill it. And then you salt it to make it taste salt and eat it. If you cook a lot of them food without salt, you wouldn't eat them. And especially meat. And another thing about eating meat. Please, people, try eat as much fish as you can, pure fish. Try keep away from the fish them that come from far because they throw a lot of radioactive stuff in the water and the fish them having mercury. Before you eat the fish, purge it with some apple cider vinegar and look for the worms, let them come out. So you're going to get less parasites in your body. Because some of these hormones will make these parasites that inside your food, it takes 900 and 1,000, 1,200 degrees to destroy these hormones. So all when you oven 350 degrees, don't cook the food, the hormones still alive. And guess where they're going? In your body go work. So your breast them start to stag. You start to get all kind of different kind of endometriosis, fibroids, cysts, all kind of thing. A good thing to treat fibroids and cysts, well, since I just said that, is get guava leaves, get soursop leaves, and put them together. Blend them and throw hot water on them. Squeeze out the juice and drink 2 glasses a day, but don't do a lot. Do it each day so that you will have it green. You don't want it to steady and turn brown because then that's just something you're drinking. It ain't really doing what it's supposed to do. Okay? Those of you who have cysts and fibroids are talking to you again. Stinger nickel is also good for that. But I'm telling you, I have proven this. Guava leaves and soursop leaves together help to get rid of your fibroids. Then you douche with stinger nickel. Now listen to me. You can't douche too often, because douching takes away a certain amount of the natural elements of your body. Amino acids and stuff like that. Nitric acid and stuff like that. That your body needs. So you can't go douche every week or every month. You have to organize yourself, and then 2 weeks after menstruation stops, you go and you get a proper douche. You use that douche bag that nobody want to see. It takes 2 quarts of water inside of it, 2 quarts of liquid inside of it. You put your body in a position where it is flowing downwards into your body. You let it stand there for 15, 20 minutes, and you do it in the bathroom. You just stand up. Everything gonna flush out, including the old pieces of condom up there that causing you to have menstrual cramps and all kind of things. Menstrual cramps, you need magnesium and you need iron. Those are your problems. You need nitric oxide. You have to go and research the foods that are going to give you these things. Do not let the pharmaceutic people give you everything.
But nitric oxide increase your heartbeat.
The arteries is good for the arteries.
Yeah, but sometimes it is overly.
Because
increased.
there's a balance. There's a need for the balance.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have any nitric oxide, you're missing an ingredient. If you don't have any amino acid, you're missing an ingredient. If you don't have calcium, you're missing an ingredient. But you need to start with the magnesium, because the magnesium is the catalyst that is going to make all these other components or all these other elements work inside of your body.
Magnesium puts you to sleep too,
Yeah, but
if you have problems
it's too much.
sleeping, one of the recommendations
is that you need magnesium.
Magnesium.
It's good for insomnia. Now, see what we're going to do. We're going to use like the guava or the yellow dad. The yellow dad, what we call dali macaroni. This is good for Luther's, any kind of skin disease. Any kind of skin disease.
How do you use that?
You just get some salt, some sea salt, especially some sea salt, and you put this in the mortar and the pistol. When you pound it, it's going to turn liquid. Because it don't start getting dry because it's about 2 days old. Right?
Where you got those? I need some of those.
When you turn there, the corner there by Louvina Fifth going on Watley Gate, you know where Watley Gate is?
No, you got
Watley Gate is where you call Westbourne Gut. The road where you're going down to go to meet Westbourne Gut by Dr. Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
That's Watley Gate. That was Dr. Lake's place back in the 1950s, 60s. It was called Watley Gate. So that all.
So you don't go down Sarpan Alley, you go down Westbourne Gut.
No, when you come straight down the road there, where the mechanic shop is and so.
Mm-hmm.
When you come down the corner by Louvina Maydad and you turn down to go towards Kearn Street, the road there that you're using, that's going to lead you, the another part of the road now is Westbourne Gut. Because Westbourne Gut on your right side while you're coming down.
Mm-hmm.
That is Watley Gate. When as soon as you turn the corner there. Okay. It there over Buckley's, over Lagreed to get these from. If you drive to Lagreed, to the dot road going down Lagreed, right, before you reach the bar down there, the Tamanchi bar, you're going to look up, sir. Look on your right hand side, up towards the mountain, you're going to see an empty patch of land there with a black car park up.
But they usually a bit yellow, I find.
Yeah, no,
orange.
they're orange. These here, that's because these don't go close to seawater. When they're close to seawater, they're yellow.
Mm-hmm.
But this is orange. This is a very potent one. And some are male and female too, because, these don't go in the ground. They go on the tree. They actually have a root that goes inside the tree. You will see it, a green root. Go inside the tree, and as soon as a little piece of wind blows this, if you only drop this on a tree, the whole of your yard full off. But they're very good for bathing the skin. And they have phosphorus, vitamin K. Vitamin K, you scarcely hear about that. That's because the man them know if you hear about these vitamins and you use them, you're not going to be ill. This one here, this tree here.
Phosphorus is K. The symbol for phosphorus is K.
Yeah, the symbol for phosphorus is K.
Call coming in.
This one here. This one that you say you can recognize. The boom tree.
Good evening. Welcome to Fear Now Favor.
Yeah, good evening again, Mr. Nital.
Yes.
I that was strongman bush.
Yeah, Guinean weed. That cures cancer. That is one of the ingredients that will cure cancer.
But I use it also, but I'm going to use the root.
You have to use the root.
I use the root.
The root has in an ingredient that is good for the prostate.
Yes, yes.
But the leaves and the bark having ingredients that cure cancer readily. There is a Jamaican scientist who patented something that cures prostate cancer. You know what happened to him?
You
The,
know,
the American government give him $5 billion and they buy the patent from him.
yeah.
So
You
we
know,
ain't got
you
it
know,
on the market. It's
you
not
know
on the
back in
market.
this question. You know, back in the 70s, this same strongman Bush leave. What our parents used to do with them?
You bathe your skin with it.
Used to bet it the child skin. If the child skin and rash,
You bathe your skin with it.
yeah, they
Because
bet the skin with it, yeah.
it kills the bacteria that cause
Mm.
acne and stuff like that.
And you ever hear about Blind Dog Bush?
I'll just talk about Blade Dog Bush, piss of bed.
You talk about the Blind Dog Bush?
Yeah, I just talk about it. I would
All
call
that
it
good for,
piss of bed.
you know what good that good for?
I know what it's good for, but if you know something is good for, that is an
It
addition too.
good for rashes on your skin.
It's good for rashes on your skin. It is good for conjunctivitis, what you call red eye. That is what it was most popular for back in the 70s. When you got sore eye or red eye, that is what they would boil a tea with it and wash your eyes with it.
I ain't seen much around now. I ain't seen much around. It used to be between people fence and stuff.
Yeah, but you see, a lot of things like that not going to come around because after they finish with the cane crop, they introduce you to Granox and Roundup, so they will kill a lot of the plants them that were around. When last you see Masambe, you don't see a lot of Masambe?
Yeah, if I ever.
Do you see a lot of Masambe around the place? Masambe is something we used to cook in rice.
Oh man, Masambe, I don't eat Masambe still.
But-
I eat them still.
But you don't see a lot of them. Once ago you used to see it
Masambe, I
around.
eat boa still. But I don't see them one on one. I see them, eh? Especially there's sometimes when you just plow up, you just plow the place, and if they see them here, they just go up. But they ain't plentiful anymore. I don't see them around like long time.
Okay, so let me tell you, strongman bush is good for the prostate and it's also good for women with endometriosis, which is fibroids or cysts. Strongman bush is good to wash away evil rash. The evil rash where you just get when you're playing dirt that's contaminated with certain things like.
Okay, you know about any Blind Dog Bush, be?
Yeah, I know
Right
where
now?
to find. I find them in Monkey Hill all the time.
Okay, because a lady from Monkey Hill, a nurse, she tell me she daughter had some rashes on her skin. She was walking around, you know. doing
What she should use is cassia lata, which is ringworm bush. That we call it king of the forest. Do you know that bush?
I tell her about the Blind Dog Bush, but I couldn't find any around because I used to see them around, but I ain't seen none around like before.
Do you know king of the forest? I ask you.
Eh?
Do you know a tree called king of the forest?
Yeah.
You sure? It's a tree that grows with a yellow flower, but the flowers are balls. Some yellow balls.
And they round.
They round, yeah.
They round up, the bush them round up.
Yeah.
Round up.
Well, if you know where that is, just tell the woman, tell her it on sister pet
No. No. I didn't know that. That about a few months ago now. That's a few months back. But
Okay.
if she had to dig it, she tell me it.
So let me tell you now.
Mm.
That bush is called ringworm bush by the old people, right? The reason why they call it ringworm bush is that when you have a ringworm, you pong it and you use the juice, and the juice will cure that ringworm. In days, we could go back to school in 3 days, 2 days, 3 days.
Well, we used to use the yellow dad, you know. The yellow
And
dad
the yellow
ringworm,
dad,
you know.
I was telling Mr. Nital that even though the yellow dad would have a poisonous substance in it, let me tell you something. You know why I don't prescribe much garlic? Because garlic has in ricin, and ricin is a poison, right?
Well,
But
no,
listen.
about garlic, I don't use much garlic now.
Listen to me.
Yeah. Mm.
The ricin in garlic removes cholesterol from your arteries and your stomach, but it also depletes the membranes of the stomach if you're not careful. So before you ever use the garlic, you have to cut it and let the water spring out and let some air pass over it.
Yeah. Question before go. You know animal that eat yellow dad?
No, that's what we were talking about. No animal eats yellow dad.
Yes, it's not. My cat let me eat yellow dad.
Okay, so that's what we were talking about again. The goats don't eat yellow dad.
Goat they eat yellow dad. Me see them, me cat them.
No, listen to me. The goats will eat yellow dad if they're sick, right? Is that, look, it's like you learn from the goats again. Watch them when you see them. it got a certain time of the year when they come around. They will jump up on the yellow dad tree or they will pick up the flowers off the ground and eat them. But
Them, them, them,
they have cattle that eat yellow dad too, but it is according to the breed.
Yeah, me see them, me see them.
There's nothing wrong with yellow dad. Yellow dad is good for you, but you have to know how to prepare it. No plant is poisonous except devil's trumpet. Devil's trumpet is what they call joy juice.
All right then, brother. Okay, no problem.
All right, blessing.
Yeah.
Devil's trumpet is what they call joy juice, right?
Used to be in the girls' school.
Yeah.
You go and think it and it mash up your head for a long time.
It's a hallucinogenic.
Make you feel like you could lift up the wall.
Again, so this is it. I had a cousin named Kenneth, and Kenneth used to get rum spooks, right? Kenneth and poor boy down Arishton, when Kenneth get the rum spook, he take off and he run into a wall, and he run into it. One day I couldn't take it no more. Went home and I get some of the joy juice. I went and prepared it. I came down with a bottle, with a pipette, and I put 3 drops of the joy juice inside a glass of water and give Kenneth. And Kenneth, they didn't see no spooks again. Because if you seen spooks and you drink it, it will clear you up. But if you ain't seen none and you drink it, you see them for a long, long time. See?
You say Kenneth, you mean Guinea boy?
Poor boy brother.
Poor boy brother.
Yeah, he. Who was a bad seaman.
What is the nutmeg to stroke? Why people would put the nutmeg under the tongue and so to get the twist out of the face? And
The nutmeg has the tendency to give you that ability because it is a spice. You see, so it gives you a certain ingredient that's why you see in the whole world, the most spice in the whole world is in Grenada. In the world.
That's the land of spice.
In the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just like iridium is in Haiti. Now, iridium is something what the thief out of Haiti, but we got a lot of things we could talk about, Sometimes I can call in on your program on the phone so that we could cross-talk like that. It doesn't have to always be like this because I don't want to be over-occupying the space. But at the same time, every opportunity, now pregnant women, guava. Let me tell you, guava, average size guava is very good for pregnant women. It gives you 112 calories. I have them all strung out here, but the time doesn't permit me. But it gives you fat, sodium, potassium, carbohydrates, dietary fiber, sugar, soluble sugar, protein, 700 grams of vitamin C, vitamin B6, 3 grams of calcium, iron, magnesium. Miss pregnant woman, 1 guava will help you control your diabetes and your hypertension at the same time. Control your sugar. You don't have to eat no lot of sweet anymore. Take a guava. It helps pregnancy. It also helps the child.
What about the iron? You need things like ferroglobin.
Yeah.
Because you need to pick up the extra oxygen.
But it has the iron too.
It
gives you iron. That's what I said. It gives you iron. It gives you vitamin, iron. 2 milligrams of iron. So you need 1 guava, and this is but what you're taking is 688 milligrams of potassium in 1 guava. So that is why it is good for the pregnant woman. The magnesium, the sodium, 3 milligrams of sodium. You have 24 grams of carbohydrates, 8.9 grams of dietary fiber, 15 grams of sugar, 4.2 grams of protein, 700 grams of vitamin A, 30 grams of vitamin C, 10 grams of vitamin B6, 3 grams of calcium, 2 grams of iron, and 9 of magnesium. But for a good daily intake, you need more than 9 grams of magnesium. But you can take magnesium in the different forms. Some in a phosphate form, in a oxide, you understand? In different valences with different tendencies, because your body needs a lot of magnesium. Don't study what the pharmaceutic approach is going to tell you. I am telling you the truth, and it is not that my mouth is the Bible. It is that I am the one who the Father blessed with the knowledge to disperse it to those who want to learn. Mr. Nital is very kind to me because he gives me a listening ear and he gives me the opportunity to talk to millions of people. My friends,
Parting words.
clean out your body. Do detox with natural things, with things out of your kitchen. I gave you the papaya and pumpkin seed one. I gave you the one with the pineapple and the pineapple and the cucumber. Remember, watermelon to the males. Watermelon in the skin. Throw them in the blender with 3 guavas.
Aphrodisia.
Yeah, with 3 guavas and some pumpkin seeds. Strain it off, put in a little cayenne pepper and a little honey. Your lover will love you for that. Women, there's a tree called porcelain. There's a tree looking just like the porcelain called tribulus. You drink that and you'll be great. For everybody else, Mr. Nital, you can have everything that I want. The cactus, get a cactus and slice it up. Slice it up fine. Put it in a jar, glass jar, throw some coconut water on it, put in a piece along about 2 inches of turmeric or 1 teaspoonful, half a 1 teaspoonful of cayenne turmeric pepper, turmeric powder. Throw that there, shake it up, put it to soak. After an hour, drink the first glass full. Then you continue to drink it until it finishes. It is going to take all the pain out of your back, your neck, your knee, your ankle. And the next time that I get to talk to you, I will tell you about the broom tree. Because I prepared something to talk about it, but the time wasn't there for that and we didn't waste the time. Thank you very much for being audience to me. And may the Lord bless you and keep you and point you towards the herbs that will be helpful to your body.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. Last minute notice. We were supposed to be here next week, but we'll always have time to come again and do what we have to do.
Anytime, Mr. Nital, you see how I am, right? The last minute, I wouldn't have even said it on here. The last minute notice is not a problem for me because the Father has blessed me with a computer up here. I remember things when my mother tell me that I was 2 years old and I was 1.5. So it is working well, and I am going to put it to whatever use I can for my audience and my people. Thank you very much again for coming.
Good night and thanks for listening.
The opinions and statements made by the host and participants in this program